paper with a few important paper tips that you can carry to any class and will help you writing in any class, as well as a quick note about the discussion board. So let me show you this other sample paper, and it occurs to me that I should upload these samples in the paper one folder as well, because it's probably hard to view them when I'm talking about them on the video, even though you could pause it. But one of the first things I want to demonstrate here is the use of a signal phrase. And I did that wrong. A signal phrase is when you simply indicate in your paper that the quote you're about to use, or the idea that you're about to explain, comes from a particular author. And because professors write these papers, I think most professors really love to see that you recognize a contributor or a thinker who has written down this idea. So if you have a quote, such as most people see gender as something that doesn't need to be discussed because they see it as human nature or biology, you would add, as Judith Lorber explains, comma, and then the quote. And then you can just put the page number, if you have it, in parentheses. And for me, it doesn't even matter if you have the page number. The second thing that I want to remind you about is something called voice markers. So in this paper, we are talking about social standards, the so-called standards of society regarding gender, which differ from Judith Lorber's ideas about gender, perhaps my own, and many of your ideas about gender. So when we talk about the difference between social norms and feminist ideas of gender, what we can see is something called a voice marker. And so I'm going to pick pink for this one. You would say, as kids, societal standards dictate that girls tell secrets and play with dolls, boys are rough and play sports. That's a voice marker. The other side of the coin is, from a feminist perspective, however, gender is about what you feel and what you don't feel as a person, understanding who you are regardless of what you have physically for genitalia. And here the backup is with baby X. No one knew the gender of baby X, or even the sex, because that was also kept a secret, remember. But at the end of the day, this child brought all the kids together because that child put the end to the social standards, the social regime of boys are this and girls are that. So that is the use of voice markers. Now I want to show you, if you are looking for track changes, comments, something quickly on our YouTube playlist. But before I do that, I just think this is cute. My children use my YouTube channel, so I get these notifications about things that they put. And in this video, somebody,
oh my God, she's so fat.
Don't say that to my cat. She's not fat. Her primordial pouch hangs low.
shaming this
She's
cat.
fat.
No.
And one of my children actually put a comment to say the cat is not fat, she's cute. So my child stood up for the cat who was being fat shamed. So I am proud of the child. I don't know which one of them it was, although I wish they'd stop putting all this stupid stuff in my my feed, because this is my YouTube channel and they're using it. So in our class playlist, and I have playlists for all of my classes, we have our lovely
When you stay at a Verbo
first day snowy video. And if you track down Spartan Green Sky and track changes, this video right here will show you how you can see track changes in Word if I send them to you, or if you're trying to see the changes in a document on Blackboard. And then in the last thing, this is our rape culture discussion. And so far, these discussions are going really well. But keep in mind that for 50 years or 30 years, universities have been trying to increase awareness among women about sexual assault, and it hasn't helped. In large part because women although women do usually get assaulted, women aren't doing the assaulting. So the question is, how do we educate the right people, shall we say? But more importantly, in these discussions, and I can probably find an example of this because I think some of you have probably hit me back, so to speak. In these questions, I responded to almost all of your questions. You want to make sure that when I reply to you, that you acknowledge my response. And I'm just looking quickly here for an example. And I think Latia did. Asked me a question about snow, about the children, responded back to me so I knew she read my response. And that's all I need to do to grade this. But if you ask me a question and I answer it and you don't read it, that's not a discussion. You see, I need to know that you read my response. So that's the last thing I have to show you for today. Remember, signal phrases, track changes on YouTube. Remember voice markers, and have a great weekend.